from the station working for you. This is breaking news from RTV6.
Breaking now at 6:30, a messy morning commute, crashes littering the interstates across central Indiana. We have team coverage for you this morning. Now, we've been tracking this story since we got in this morning. Slick roads leading to a number of issues on the interstates. Elena, we've had several interstate closures. Just how widespread is this?
It's everywhere, Lauren. It's not isolated to one particular area. It's everywhere in the area this morning. So you are definitely going to want to use extreme caution when making your way to work. I'll point out these areas to you on the map. Right now we have the multiple vehicle crash on westbound I-70 at Holt Road. This is over on the west side. I'll show you to this in just a second. We also have westbound I-74. That is closed between Raceway Road and Ronald Reagan Parkway. What you might want to do is use US 136 during this closure. Westbound I-70 is also closed in Plainfield at State Road 267. Might want to consider using US 40 this morning as an alternate route. But let's take a look at some of those crashes right now on our live and traffic cams. Here's a look at I-465 and I-74, and this is that crash that our Erin Lish is actually at right now. We'll get to her in just a second. Let's take a look at the Holt Road crash. Here's I-70 at Holt Road. You can see everything is moving slowly through the area, but I'm actually going to toss things to our Shay Goodpaster, who is at this Holt Road crash right now. Shay.
That's right, Elena. I'm right here at Holt Road, I-70 westbound, just before the exit. This is a major chain reaction crash here. I'm going to show you around here. Now, right here, we've got two vehicles right here. I'm keeping my light off. It is kind of dangerous. Now, I'm going to walk on I-70 here. We've got about 5 or 6 more cars right here. Over here across the road on the inside barrier, we've got another vehicle right there. Let's go down a little farther west. Here's another vehicle. And then if I walk back towards where I'm parked down here, we've got at least 4 or 5 more cars off the road here. Very slick. Now let's look at this road right here. You can see that sheen there, Elena. It's very, very slick. And you can see it right now. This is at least a 14-car pileup. Back to you, Aaron. And let's send it to you, Aaron.
We're on 465 on the southeast side near I-74. You can see that a vehicle is down on the side of the embankment. Very slick roads this morning. Black ice causing that to happen, especially on these on-ramps and overpasses, so make sure you are slowing down. You can see there are multiple responders here this morning, so make sure you are going slow, taking your time, maybe starting your day a little bit earlier for your morning commute. But for now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio. Lauren?
Aaron and Shay out there, thank you so much. Some incredible images out there of the roads. And if you haven't gone outside yet, your car might look like this. We got that snow overnight.
Yeah, no, it was late last night, early this morning that these snow showers came in. So a lot of you were probably sleeping, and then the temperatures went well below freezing. We're in the 20s right now. So anything that was out there froze over. So there's not a lot happening right now weather-wise. And so you become a little complacent, I think, when you don't see a lot of snow falling or any rain. But the damage was done earlier, and with temperatures below freezing, anything that goes untreated is just going to stay in its frozen state. So that's why we have these slick spots, especially as Aaron mentioned, those bridges and overpasses. They're probably in the worst shape here this morning. Here's what's currently happening with these snow showers that are making their way through the area. Again, they're pretty spotty. Frankfort up to Sheridan to Tipton. These really shouldn't have too much of an impact on the roads. There may be maybe a dusting that comes out of these, and that should be just about it. But the ground now is very, very chilly, so it's going to be that light snow that kind of just blows around. So that's why I don't think we'll have too much in the way of additional issues from these snow showers. Winchester, a few snow showers there. And these will taper off to just a few flurries, but it is cold out there. You need to bundle up. Temperatures right now in the teens and 20s across the area, Lauren. Highs today only eventually up to right around freezing.
Todd, thank you. Of course, you can check the latest conditions on the RTV6 app. But now to our other top story. Today, hundreds of people from all across the state are expected to pay their respects to Boone County Sheriff's Deputy Jacob Pickett. Family, friends, other law enforcement officers are all expected to show their support. His visitation is today at Crown Hill Funeral Home from 2 until 7 o'clock. And then tomorrow is a celebration of life service that will be at Connection Point Christian Church in Brownsburg at 11 a.m. He'll then be buried at the Hero site at Crown Hill Cemetery. Following his funeral there will be a 4-county procession. Now everyone is invited to join this line this procession route in a safe way. It will be at Connection Point Church in Brownsburg, and then from there it will head to Lebanon in Boone County. The procession will then head south to Zionsville and will make its way through Indianapolis before ending at Crown Hill Cemetery. Again, that's where Deputy Pickett will be buried. To get a closer look at this procession route, just head over to the IndyChannel.com or click on your RTV6 app. Well, Deputy Pickett spent his life in law enforcement, serving his community any way he could. We want to take a look back at his career. Now, we know he worked for the Marion County Sheriff's Office starting in 2010. He was awarded the Sheriff's Jail Deputy of the Year in 2013. He then moved to be a deputy at the Tipton County Sheriff's Department. Deputy Pickett then joined the Boone County Sheriff's Department. Throughout the years, he left an impact on people all across central Indiana.
If you needed something, he was always there.
Kind of had a left foot that day and pulled me over for a ticket, and he didn't give it to me.
I got his truck stuck in the driveway trying to get out, and we were trying to push him up there, and it was just him and 2 other deputies. And when I came up there, I was in my gear and whatnot, and we pushed him out of the driveway, and he just kind of looked over, jokingly said, "Oh, that's all we needed was a fireman to help us get him out."
He's a good man, good deputy. Loved working with him. We had a good time, and he got the job done. He did it the right way.
And we'll have complete coverage of this story right now on our RTV6 app. There you can find more stories of how people are remembering Deputy Pickett and also how his sister is thanking the community. There you'll also be able to find the latest updates on today's visitation and, of course, full coverage of tomorrow's funeral. It is 6:36. We do have that big mess out there on I-70 westbound at Holt Road. Shay Goodpaster is out on the interstate right now. Shay, what's going on?
Well, I can tell you the Wayne Township Fire Department just arrived on the scene. They're going the wrong way on the exits just to get here. It's a major pileup, I would call it. At least 14 cars that I can count. Now, I did talk to somebody that was involved in the crash. He said it just was like a domino effect. One car spun out and nobody could stop. Now, right here's 3 vehicles. You can see this is a vehicle pointed the wrong way. This is at I-70 just before you get to Holt Road. This is the westbound lane. Now, firemen are over here checking out somebody right now. I don't believe there's any serious injuries, but there are a lot of vehicles out here, and look at that road, guys. It's slick. Sod, back to you in the studio.
Yeah, you can just see the glaze on the roadway, and we just have this thin layer of ice that developed with basically the snow showers we had last night. It was initially melting on the roadways because temperatures were above freezing. Then as soon as we fell below freezing, that all froze out there. You see the blue sky. There's not a whole lot going on out there right now as far as additional precipitation, but this is the word of the day. Use caution.
And Thursday means it's throwbacks on RTV6. Today we'll return to the era when you were finally able to own your own phone. Yes, there was a time when you didn't. It is 6:38. Want to take a live look from our live traffic camera here at that I-70 and Holt Road issue where our Shay Goodpaster is on the interstate right now. Says he counts at least 14 cars pulled over after the slide-offs and crashes. Of course, we'll continue to check in with him and keep you updated on all the issues you may face as you're heading out the door. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Time now 6:42. Here's a look at 2 crashes we are monitoring right now. The first one on your left is I-70 at Holt Road. Multiple vehicles. Our Shay Goodpaster is on the scene. He says there's about 14 vehicles involved in this crash, and I'm going to send things out to Shay right now. Shay, tell us what you know.
Well, Elena, what I know right now is the Wayne Township Fire Department is on scene. Now, you see this fireman right here. They're starting to check everybody out. Now, here's 3 vehicles right here that you couldn't see earlier. Here's a couple more right here. If we go on up, I'm walking in the westbound lane. I'm walking eastbound, but you see traffic's really moving very slow. There's a more serious injury up here. Firemen are working with them right now. I'll stay wide here while they help them out. Here's a few more cars right here. You see this right here. Now, I talked to another witness just a second ago, and he said you just couldn't do anything. One car spun out, and then nobody could stop. And right there you see, Elena, look at that road. It's still very slick. Back to you in the studio, Elena.
And right now I'm going to take it, Shay. Thank you for that update. Obviously a mess on all the interstates here across central Indiana. We're seeing issues there on I-70 all the way up in Madison County. My sister-in-law just texted me Mooresville. They have some big accident she just ran into down there trying to get to school this morning. So, I mean, it's widespread.
You know, we have this black ice that's out there, and that formed overnight when the temperatures went well below freezing. So it's a little deceiving because there's not a lot out there right now as any snow or rain falling. So you get a little complacent and maybe get a little relaxed. And when you get on the roadways, especially when you get on the highways and you're going at these higher rates of speed, it doesn't take a whole lot to cause a chain reaction like Shay just told you about there, and that you see right there. So I want to point a couple things out. Look, you see all the blue sky here. There's hardly any snow showers out there, so all the problems that we do have on the roadways are left over from last night. But the sheen is on the roadways where the cars are moving, but look where the lanes are, where the cars are pulled over on the side and not in traffic. That hasn't been salted, and so you can see that there's some black ice out there. And so this is what you're going to encounter as you take to the roadways here this morning. You're just going to have to give yourself some extra time because things will change over the course of the miles that you drive. It may be fine in one spot that got a little bit of salt on it at some point throughout the overnight hours. Then you get to another area that had no salt, and next thing you know, you're spinning on the roadways and you end up in a traffic jam like this because there's multiple accidents here and there across the area. So let's go over to radar right now, and you can see that as far as the snow showers go, there's a few to the north, and that's really just about it for afternoon highs in the mid-40s. Elena?
All right, thank you, Todd. I do have good news on the west side. I-74 has now reopened, so if this is part of your commute, you can head that way now. Now I'm going to send things out to our Nicole Griffin, who's on the west side monitoring a crash. Nicole.
Elena, good morning. Well, you can see right now we are on I-465 North. Right now, a state trooper is actually blocking off this ramp here. This is to I-74 West. I just went up and talked to him a few minutes ago. He says they have blocked off that ramp because it is very slick. They've already had nearly 5 crashes on that ramp alone. I want you to take a look right behind us. Our photographer Frank will show you this morning. Semis are backed up. Traffic is being stopped right here in this area. Again, this is I-465 North to I-74 West. So if your morning commute takes you through this area, you'll want to avoid it because right now they are telling me that people won't be able to get onto this ramp for about an hour. They have called NDOT crews out here to de-ice that ramp, but they are on their way at this time. Back to you, Lauren.
Nicole, thank you for that update. Well, a landline phone could already be a thing of the past for you, but in Indy 35 years ago, they were at the center of quite the debate. This week's Throwback Thursday focuses on the decision to rent or buy a phone. In 1983, it was commonplace for people to rent their phones in their homes from the telephone company. However, that all changed when people in Indiana got the option to buy a phone instead of leasing one from the phone company. The reason was due to a change from the Bell system breakup in the 1980s. But customers still had plenty of options there. The reason for the change was due to the shakeup there in the system. Of course, to see more on this story or any of our other Throwback Thursday segments, you can head right now to theindychannel.com/history. Just ahead here on Good Morning America. Today you've heard from Ari and Lauren, but now you want to hear from Becca on her side of the story of that controversial ending to The Bachelor and more on her new role as the next Bachelorette. Time now is 6:49. Good Morning Indiana. We'll be right back.
From the station working for you, this is breaking news from RTV6.
Here on Good Morning Indiana. Welcome back. I'm Lauren Casey. We do have that team coverage of breaking news this morning. Slick roads leading to several trouble spots for your morning drive. Let's start things off with Elena Martella.
Yeah, Lauren, a lot of crashes in the area this morning as you are making your way to work. We have that multiple vehicle crash on westbound I-70 at Holt Road. We also have westbound I-70 closed at State Road 267, so you might want to use US 40 as an alternate route. And this crash just came up on our radar, southbound US 31 at State Road 32. You can see a lot of stop and go traffic with that one in the Carmel area, so keep that in your back pocket. Let's take a look at that Holt Road crash right now. Multiple vehicles again, westbound I-70 at Holt Road. The good news, Wayne Township just tweeted out that no injuries, which is amazing news. Our photographer Shay Goodpaster is out on the scene right now. Shay, tell us what you know.
Well, right now we've got IMPD, State Police, Wayne Township Fire Department. They're all out here trying to get this cleaned up. Here's an officer right now taking a report right here, but it's a 14-car crash that I can count. I haven't got the official count, but I can see up to 14 vehicles. I'll walk around here. This is westbound I-70 just before you get to Holt Road. Now, right over here, this looks like one of the more serious collisions, but it appears, like you said, nobody is injured, and that's good news. Let's go to Nicole out in the field. Nicole.
Yeah, good morning. We are here on I-465 North, right near Crawfordsville Road. This is the ramp leading to I-74 West. You can see right now state police have this ramp blocked off at this time. I just spoke to a trooper a minute ago who says this ramp is very slick. We just saw an NDOT crew arrive here, and they are going to attempt to de-ice this ramp right now. State police tell me there have at least been 5 crashes here, and they estimate this might take up to an hour to get this ramp able for traffic to flow again. I want you to take a look right over here. You can see the backup here this morning. All these cars and semis waiting to get onto this ramp to I-74 West heading to Brownsburg. So again, if your commute takes you through this area, you will want to avoid it because it could be closed for another 45 minutes to an hour. Let's go ahead and send it over to Todd in the studio.
Yeah, Nicole, you know, there's hardly any snow shower activity out there right now, just a few to our north. This is all left over from last night. It seems like a lot of these accidents are on interstates or roads that have more overpasses, and the bridges and overpasses, obviously the first to slicken up. And also the highways, you go at a higher rate of speed, so you just need to slow down. There's not as many issues on the local streets, and that's because, there's not as many bridges that you have to go over. So keep that in mind. But again, there's a few snow showers to the north. Otherwise, we are enjoying partly cloudy skies here this morning. It's just very, very cold. We're in the 20s. That's the way we stay here throughout the course of the morning hours. Eventually, Lauren, up to a high of 33 degrees.
Todd, thank you. Well, one person was taken to the hospital this morning after this crash on the city's southeast side. This one happened on I-465 near the I-74 interchange. You can see here the vehicle flipped several times off the ramp and down the hill. There's no word on the condition of that driver. And then take a look at these slide-off crashes that started early this morning. Authorities say black ice is a factor in this crash on I-65 southbound right before I-465 on the west side. A box truck and another vehicle there collided. And then about a mile from the Ronald Reagan Parkway exit on I-74 westbound, a truck driver loses control, crashes into a barrier fence. This crash was between a pickup truck and a semi-driver. Authorities reminding all drivers about how treacherous the roads can be with the black ice. And remember, it is easy to stay up to date with the latest road conditions every morning. All you have to do is check the IndyChannel.com or download the RTV6 app straight to your mobile device. There you can watch those live traffic cameras and take a look at the map like you're seeing right now. Well, the man charged with killing the Boone County deputy Jacob Pickett is being held this morning without bond. Anthony Baumgart saying he has no remorse. People in the community say that they're shocked about the comments that Anthony Baumgart made before entering that courtroom. Even the sheriff says he was upset by them. From what we saw inside the courtroom yesterday, Baumgart acted very casual and even kept trying to ask the Boone County Sheriff Mike Nielsen questions before those proceedings began. New developments now in the Russia investigation. First, the New York Times reports that President Trump asked 2 Russia probe witnesses about their interviews with the special counsel's team. It says those witnesses were White House counsel Don McGahn and former Chief of Staff Reince Priebus, and that special counsel Robert Mueller is aware. Florida lawmakers passed a so-called school safety bill, but the governor hasn't said if he'll sign it. The bill restricts some rifle sales, creates new mental health programs in schools, and would arm some teachers. Now, Governor Rick Scott is against arming teachers. Governor Scott says he'll read the bill and talk to the families who lost kids in the Stoneman Douglas shooting before making a decision. Elena.
A lot of problems on the interstates this morning. I've noticed that's where pretty much all of the crashes are isolated to in the entire area right now. So those interstates are definitely slick. We have that multiple vehicle crash on westbound I-70 at Holt Road, and then westbound I-70 is actually closed at State Road 267 right now, so you might want to use US 40 as an alternate route. Todd.
All right, skies are partly cloudy here this morning. There's a few isolated snow showers out there, but nothing major. You need to bundle up. 24 degrees here at 8 a.m. Only up to 33 this afternoon. There's a cold wind blowing once again today, so that's going to make that 33 feel more like 23 degrees throughout a good portion of the day today. The rest of the forecast, as we look forward, is pretty quiet. Good amount of sunshine heading our way the next few days with temperatures in the mid-40s.
Todd, thank you. We'll be back here on air in 25 minutes throughout Good Morning America with your news, weather, of course, the traffic updates. We would suggest staying off the interstates if you can for your morning commute. We're going to be on the RTV6 app and online also, so we'll be staying live for you, keeping a look at all of these issues on the interstates. Again, we have issues on I-74 on the west side, I-70 at Holt Road, 14 cars involved in that. Of course, we'll continue to keep you updated throughout the morning. Be safe out there.